Hi, and welcome to another changelog for Milo. Today's changelog is all about the new component here in the Insights tab that we're calling today's summary. It has a few important stats at the top, including your steps and calories, as well as your current TSB and moving time across your workouts for today. However, the most important component in here is the assessment that we are generating using a lot of factors that we calculate across your biometrics and activities. Most importantly, we're using your training load, your TSB range, if you're detraining or in a balanced or maybe even an overreaching state. That obviously plays a big role here. We're also looking at your recovery status by assessing your most recent activities. If it was a run, it plays a more important role, but a big factor here is the time since your most recent run and also the intensity. And based on that, we're using the scientific models to generate essentially the time you should be recovering before another hard workout. And then we're also looking at your sleep data, your general sleep trends, including your HRV values, as well as the most recent night's sleep, since that obviously has a huge impact on your current recovery. Using all of this, we are generating these assessments for you. Those are updating every 2 hours or whenever there is a new trigger, such as a new workout or a change in your sleep or activity data. And we personally have found this very useful to make sure that you are pushing yourself when you should be pushing yourself and taking a rest when you should be taking a rest. We've also added this weather component here that is simply looking at your location, so long you've provided Milo with your location, and then finding the best time in the next 24 hours to do an outdoor run. So on a hot day, it would tell you to avoid the hot midday temperatures, and on a cold or rainy day, we'll find the best time to avoid uncomfortable weather. Now, we've also improved the weekly volume chart. Previously, you were able to select through all of your activities to see your weekly volume, but we've added now the all toggle here, which we find very useful as it is now looking at all of your activities and the moving time and consolidating that into one comparable volume graph. If you are like me, you sometimes run more or less, sometimes ride more or less, depending on the weather or the injuries that you're currently working through. And so moving time really is a good way to look at how much training you've really done in a certain time. We've also added this detailed view to the weekly volume view. It starts by default with the 12-week snapshot, but now you can simply look at the last 12 months of data by scrolling through the chart like this. Cool. All right, now we've also made improvements to the VO2 max chart. We added a 1-month view, which gives you a little bit of a better trend for where you're currently headed and how your training has impacted your VO2 max. And we've also color-coded the graph using the general classifications for VO2 max. So the ranges are according to science. So in my case, I'm currently in the 52 plus range, which is the blue range here at the top. We also are overlaying the VO2 max chart now with your body weight chart, which obviously can have an impact on your VO2 max as well. And it's just an insightful piece of information that we find valuable. And given that we've been adding more and more features to the Insights tab, we wanted to make it a little easier to consume your insights at a glance, especially if some are more important to you than others. And so now in the preferences view here, you have the ability to toggle these individually on and off to hide or unhide them, and also rearrange them as you like. And then we have a new way to filter activities. By default, all of your activities are shown in the activities list, but if you choose so, you can now toggle them on and off to hide or unhide them for your activities list.